Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make red or potato greens. We got some chicken, some smoked fish, ribs. We have some tiger shrimp, some crab legs, king snow crab legs, and 5 bags of that fresh potato greens from H Mart. Shout out to H Mart. Love them. In detail, I will be showing everybody, whether you're African or not, how to make these greens because this soup is so good. I want everybody to enjoy it. First, you want to wash the leaves thoroughly, starting from the tip to the root. Okay, you don't just wash the leaves because that's not all you're gonna make with your soup. You see the branches in the middle of the potato leaf. You want to snap off the branches and you're going to include the stem with the leaf. I really hope you see what I'm doing. I'm not just cutting the potato greens and using the leaf only. I'm using the stem that comes with the potato leaf. So you want to break that off, put the stem to the side because you're not going to use them. And you want to fit as much as you can in your hand and just cut it thinly. I'm going to show you how to do this over and over because it is repetitive. This soup took me like an hour and 30 minutes that I fit into 17. So when you start cutting the stem, you want to make sure that's cut very thinly so it's easier for it to dissolve and you're not sitting over the stove watching it for like an hour or more than you have to because you don't want the soup to stick to the bottom. And you're gonna be cutting a while. If you buy like 5 packs, 8 packs, it's gonna take you a while to cut them. I only bought 5 packs because I live alone with my dog, so that's enough for me. And again, I'm breaking off the stem with the leaf from the branch, and I am going to cut them very thinly. This is a process. I just want you to enjoy the process with me. So I included, I would say, me cutting the first bundle and the last bundle, but I did show you how much I cut just so you can see how it dissolves. The potato greens may look like a lot, but I don't want you going to the store and buying 3 packs and thinking that's a lot because they will dissolve when you make the soup. So if you have a bigger family than me, you might want to aim for, I would say, 10 to 12 packs. So again, you want to cut the stem very thinly, like so. If you have shear scissors, you can use that for the stem. I'm not against that. But just cut the leaves very thinly. As you can see, I took more than the handful for me, so I used the side of my plate to help me just slice it up thinly. You have to be very motivated and hungry to make this soup because I'm telling you, it is a process. Especially if you have a bigger family, you're gonna need, like I said, 10 to 12 packs. If you go and buy 3, trust me, you will regret it because this soup is bomb. And that's the second half of the first bag. Like I said, it's a process, y'all. So again, I'm showing you how to wash them and break off that stem from the leaf itself. It's very easy to just snap it off. You're not gonna, be exerting a lot of force on it, so don't worry about that. And again, cutting that stem very thinly from the side, from left, right, bottom, it doesn't matter, girl, just cut that very thinly. You see how I'm doing? Wash your knife so you don't cut yourself. And I will be showing you the rest of the 3 bags, but I'm not going to, make you endure the process of me cutting all of that. I'm just going to show you how much went into the process and how much I used. So I'm washing that very thoroughly, like I said, and I'm going to break off the branch from the stem, use the stem that comes with the potato leaf and cut them thoroughly. The end result is so worth it. This is my favorite Liberian dish. Even though it's a process, trust me, you guys, you're gonna want more and more. We are finally approaching the end of the 5 bundles. You can see the little leaves to the side that didn't have a stem. You want to use that too. Just gather them up and cut them thinly. And all of the little leaves on my branches would be used. That's why I put them back into the sink. And on the last bundle, I did use my shears just to make sure the stem were cut thinly as I like them. And I picked up my knife for the rest of the bundle because it's faster for me. I just love fresh potato greens. I never cook with the frozen pack. So I'm finishing all of the 5 packs, going through with my hands and picking out the little leaves that are left over. They do have little stems to them, so go ahead and cut them as thinly as you can. My scissors were definitely helpful for that. Now moving on to my proteins, my favorite type of shrimp to use is tiger shrimp. I got these from H Mart as well. I cut off the legs and then I try to wash the head. Some of them I left head on because when I did clean out that orange guck that's in there, they were able to still attach, and some of them just fell off. You will see what I mean. Like that one threw the head away. But this one, when I washed it, the head was still a little bit attached. That helps with the flavor. I'm an African gal, so I don't mind. So you will see me using head on, head off. It doesn't really matter to me. That's how they look, nice and big. The ribs that I had to wash the barbecue sauce off. That's my smoked fish. I washed them, put them to the side. For the snow crab legs, I washed them with hot water and broke them apart because I want a lot in the soup. I don't plan on eating it all at once. For the wings, I clean them by taking my knife and running them across the skin. And sometimes I use the scissors to cut off the feathers. That just makes it easier. I will be breaking them up into 2 so I can have flats and drumsticks. Cut off the fat of your chicken where necessary because you don't want to eat that. You can use vinegar to clean your chicken, but I prefer to manually scrape the skin to make sure it's thoroughly clean. Besides, I don't like the flavor of vinegar. Seasoning, you'll see me repeatedly use some garlic powder, some abode, some chicken polo, slap your mama, and black pepper. I put on some gloves so that all the flavors, and some salt, a little bit of salt. I'm not big on cooking with salt. I put on some gloves so the flavor can stick with the chicken, and I let that marinate. I will be using my sifter to transfer the shrimp to its bowl because I will be seasoning it. I don't want any water on it. We're going to use some Old Bay, some salsa complante, some polo, and garlic powder, and slap your mama for that Cajun spice. Using gloves, I find that the flavor sticks with whatever you're seasoning, and it definitely helps it not get on your hands. Makes life easier. Bell peppers, garlic, and habanero peppers will be very important because you're going to add that to season your greens. You're going to blend them up into a nice paste. You're going to see that I will add my smoked fish and some adobe and some cumin seeds because it just brings the flavor all together. Some people do let their smoked fish just sit in the potato greens because that's the African way, and you know it's flavorful that way. I do add it to my paste as well as onions, and I do add onions and smoked fish to the soup itself, and some fresh habanero peppers to the greens itself as well as the paste. to increase the flavor. It's very delicioso. For the ribs, I just grabbed my pot and put it on a low simmer, added the ribs to it, no water, no nothing, just let that cook in itself. Moving on to the chicken, test your oil with onions to see if it's hot enough. We're gonna fry that chicken, and I'm gonna let you enjoy the pleasing noises that frying chicken comes with. Also, those of you who aren't African and didn't grow up eating this, you do fry your chicken. It does not cook with the soup. It's optional to fry your shrimp. I fried my shrimp because I wanted the flavor to be more impactful, and it is that way. And like Minnie said, child, I don't burn no chicken, okay? We're just going for a nice toasted color on all sides of the meat. We're not trying to overdo it. Now the ribs are pretty much how I wanted them, just cooked in itself, simmered down, no added seasoning. I didn't show it, but I did slice each of the party wings because that releases blood, and you don't want to bite into chicken and there's blood. And it also lets the seasoning seep through. Now onto my shrimp, I will be frying them because it just holds the flavor so much better, and it helps it from really dissolving into the soup because shrimp is very mushy. That's another reason for having the shelves on the shrimp, because seasoning is very important. And I'm just taking the ribs out of the pot. They're pretty much done. Thank you so much if you're still watching, if you're still along this journey with me. I hope that you do try this recipe because you won't regret it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now this is the part we've all been waiting for, the greens. I already have one batch in there that's already dissolved. I added a fresh pack. I do it step at a time. I'm not using baking soda. Usually people would put it all in a pot, add some baking soda, and that makes it dissolve, a little faster. You can if you'd like, but I, like vinegar, don't like the taste of baking soda. So I'm using it step at a time, and I'm adding some of my oil that I use to fry up the meats to it for heightened flavor. I did add some onions, and I grabbed the sharp part of the blender and added that paste just to get that out the way. I did add in the paste at a later time, but this is how I do it. You can add the paste in at any time you'd like. Now we're going to season our greens, okay? While it's in this state, you want to season it. I use some black pepper, some seasoned comblante, some polo, and I use some garlic powder and some Mrs. Dash salt-free seasoning and adobe. I'm not big on cooking with salt, like I said. Usually after stirring all that up, I wait a few minutes and I add my paste. That's the bell peppers, habanero peppers, and garlic with onion paste that we blended up earlier. As you can see, that is how much the potato leaf actually is with 5 packs. So like if you have a bigger family, as I cautioned you, get more. So that is the greens cooking in itself. There's no baking soda or more oil than I had already added. You want to let that simmer and cook on a medium heat or low if you walk away. But I stayed watching and I was comfortable with that. Like I said, I live alone and I dedicate certain time to cook. So that is the greens just cooking by itself. Now I'm going to add at this time some red oil, some palm oil. That is how much I added in. I like to taste my greens. I don't want my oil to be more than my greens. As you can see, as it cooks down, the oil will rise up. I'm adding my meats at this time, my snow crab and my ribs. The chicken and shrimp, we're gonna leave that for later. We're just gonna do things step at a time. I did go ahead and add some whole habanero peppers because I love some spicy potato greens. Once that marinates, as you can see, it went a little bit down. I'm gonna add my chicken, stir that up, and let that marinate as well. I did use some of the oil from my shrimp because why not? It's delicioso. On the other side, you can see me still cooking my rice. This was before I got my rice cooker. I had just moved into my place, so I'm getting things together. Don't judge me. Now this is how your greens should look. My oil is not overpowering my greens. The greens is very flavorful. Like we took a lot of steps to make sure that was the main star of the dish. Now I'm gonna add my shrimp last for obvious reasons. Stir that up, let that marinate for a couple of minutes, maybe 15, and we should be done. If you love African food, I really hope this video gave you the power to go out and try making this dish at home, because everything I've done in this video was done in a universal type of way, and the end result is just as good, even better. You can see the ribs in there, the chicken, the shrimp, the crab, everything's its own gift to the party. Gonna let that marinate some more, but this is the end result. This is how your greens should look, and that's how you know you've done it right. Make sure it doesn't stick to your pot. You can see the red oil on my hands is just the right amount. And of course I paired this with rice. We don't really eat this with fufu. If you're still watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know you enjoyed this content. I have a lot of other content on my channel. Please make sure you subscribe to this normal girl just sharing her life with you. By following me, you will get different content. You will be knowledgeable on a lot of other issues, as well as me sharing my culture with you. Now, after all that work we did together, you know I'm gonna give you a bite. Here, have a bite. Now I know that was good. Thank you so much for watching.